It's time for the major news on The Bridge 99 FM.
The headlines: Cornwall Regional Hospital preparing for monkeypox. RSU records decline in road fatalities in June. Duncan Sutherland re-elected as head of PNP Women's Movement. In regional news, visa restriction imposed on Cuban officials. And in international news, multiple candidates to replace Boris Johnson as UK Prime Minister. Bridge Nation, I'm Lafayne Wigan, and now the details. We begin with local news. Senior Medical Officer at the Cornwall Regional Hospital in St. James, Dr. Derek Harvey, says the facility is making preparations to deal with monkeypox if and when it is presented at the facility. Dr. Harvey explained that the facility will take a similar approach with monkeypox as it did with COVID-19. He said spaces which were opened for non-COVID persons will be available for monkeypox isolation areas. His comments come 2 days after Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton told a press conference that the viral infection was confirmed in Jamaica in a patient who had recently returned from the United Kingdom. The patient was isolated and his close contacts quarantined following contact tracing. The CRH, which is Western Jamaica's only Type A medical facility, has been undergoing rehabilitation work to correct a noxious fumes issue which resulted in several of its departments being relocated in 2017. Statistics from the Road Safety Unit RSU has revealed that fatalities in June decreased by 10%, while fatal crashes decreased by 9%. The statistics show that pedestrians account for 17% of the road users killed during June 2022. St. James led the number of fatalities during the month with 17%, followed by St. Catherine and Westmoreland with 14% each. Drivers of private motor vehicles accounted for 31% of the road users killed, while passengers of private motor vehicles accounted for 17% of the road users killed during the month. There were no fatalities reported among public or commercial motor vehicles. And businesswoman Patricia Duncan Sutherland has been re-elected as president of the People's National Party PNP Women's Movement. Mrs. Duncan Sutherland was re-elected at the group's annual conference on Sunday as the organization's fifth head. The full executive includes General Secretary Patricia Elliott and 5 vice presidents: Esther Wapp, Patricia Morgan, Tiara Murray, Keisha Phillips, and Joyce Perry Jacobs. Mrs. Duncan Sutherland said she will be pushing for the legalization of abortion in Jamaica and implementation of the Sexual Harassment Act. The question of abortion rights has ignited much discussion in recent weeks after United States Supreme Court overturned a 50-year constitutional ruling that guaranteed abortion rights for women. Abortion is illegal in Jamaica, but in recent years, calls for changes have intensified. Meanwhile, Mrs. Duncan Sutherland said she will also focus attention on the debate of paternity leave as limited progress has been made with regard to introducing legislation that encourages the practice. And in regional news, the United States Department of State has imposed visa restrictions on 28 Cuban officials. U.S. Secretary of State Antony J. Blinken, in a statement, said the 28 officials include officials implicated in the repression of the peaceful July 11, 2021 protests. Mr. Blinken said they include high-ranking members of the Cuban Communist Party responsible for setting national and provincial level policies. Mr. Blinken explains that instead of ensuring the safety of the Cuban people and respect for their freedoms of expression and peaceful assembly, these officials permitted or facilitated violent and unjust detentions. This announcement of visa restrictions comes in response to the actions of Cuban government officials that limit Cubans' enjoyment of their human rights and fundamental freedoms. And in international news, 11 Conservatives are now competing to replace Boris Johnson as Prime Minister of Britain. Party representatives will today decide the rules under which the leadership contest will be held. A supporter of Home Secretary Priti Patel said there was a strong chance she would put herself forward as a candidate. Currently, the former Chancellor Rishi Sunak has the highest number of supporters. The post for Prime Minister became vacant following last week's resignation of Boris Johnson. Mr. Johnson lost the support of a large number of his ministers who handed in back-to-back resignations following a series of scandals. That was the Bridge 99 FM and Ari Jam Radio News Package, News 360, the facts you need. Catch us at 5 p.m. for another News 360. You can also download the Bridge 99 FM app in the Google Play Store and the Apple Store for all the latest happenings on the Bridge. I'm Lefane Wiggin. Have a great day.
And those are the stories making it in Bridge 99 FM's major news package right here on the Bridge 99 FM.